So first thing, we're gonna have a Proctor U tests on 14 and 15, okay? So I assume you already have scheduled, right? If you didn't, make sure to schedule your test as soon as possible, okay? If it's first time, you need to go through Proctor U that's under on GoView. You go to Assessments, at the top of menu, then you go to Connect to Proctor U so that you can register and log in and pay for it, things like that. So make sure to do that. That's 14 and 15. Can't see anybody trying to get in. Here we go. All right, so we're just talking about the first tests on 14 and 15. So matter of fact, we're going to just have some review for the tests, and we're going to talk about a little bit of new functions appeared in Module 3, okay? So do you have any questions before we get started? No questions? All right, let's see if anybody had a chatting. Right. Okay, so let me share my screen so that I can get to the review. There you go. All right. Did it work?
Yeah, we can see it.
Great, thank you. Okay, so here we go. That's out of GoView and the tests, right? Then we have Proctor U Test 1. Then we have some information on the Proctor U Test 1 folder. And I'm gonna let's click the first one, which is review for the Proctor U Test 1. Just kind of summarize some important Excel skills appeared in modules 1, 2, 3, as well as appear in the project 1 out of assignment, because that particular project has two functions. This one is sum product to calculate weighted average, and I think there's something else, but we'll get to that later. So mostly out of modules 1 and 2, maybe just few items from module 3. Because out of module 3, you have a VLOOKUP if, there's some serious questions are appear. So it's not going to appear, those functions. So mostly formatting, editing, and some basic functions like sum, average, maximum, minimum count, and calculating percentage. Okay, that's very important. Calculating percentage, and as well as conditional formatting. There's conditional formatting here. Conditional formatting right here. So basically highlighting or show some emphasis based on some rules. So conditional formatting. So those are the main things that you're going to see in Proctor U Test 1. Okay. So what's going to happen is I cannot show, I cannot simulate actual tests, but what I can tell you is as soon as you log into Proctor U account, then the Proctor will take over and, go through the steps, all those security, see your ID and things like that. Then Proctor will guide you to log in the test and the quiz. So you don't have to worry about where to go because Proctor will tell you what to do. Okay. And if anything happened during or before, while you talk to Proctor U or trying to set it up, and if you have any problem, then Proctor will make a note and try to fix the problem. But if it's not successful, and they'll contact me. Okay. Meaning probably you could not get into or something might happen. Okay. So that I can do something about it. Okay. So don't panic. Just try to talk to the proctor and, be nice. Don't get too frustrated because this particular proctor can proctor probably, several people at the same time. So just talk nice to them so that they can help you out. And I think another important thing is, especially if you live in those areas or if your internet connection is poor, kind of slow, so trying to take the test when the internet traffic is low, meaning, you want to take it like a morning, early afternoon rather than evening, because there's a lot of internet traffic in the evening time. Okay, so that's something you want to keep in mind. All right, so that's the Excel skills covers in test 1. Then going back to here again, some sample questions there. I have a few, 1, 2, 3 different sets, but they are very similar. And because I have them many years, I have some old tests in different versions. So that's why you're seeing here. So let's take a look, just a couple of them. And this one, sample question set number 2, because it's Excel, so I'm going to just download. I think I have already here somewhere. There, I think it looks like this one. Okay. I'm going to make it bigger because I assume you guys kind of, you're on your screen, they look pretty small. So hopefully this can help. So this particular worksheets, this is the data, and the other worksheets are instructions. Okay, so that's one type of format you may see, or I'm going to just write down step by step on the main screen. Main background, so you don't have to go back and forth between different worksheets. But either way, I think you need to go back and forth between Excel and GoView, right? So if you have a 2 screen, that would be nice, but they are not allowed to use 2 monitors. So trying to work with it between 2 different windows, go back and forth. All right, so here's the direction. So as you can see, most of the directions, the steps are basic because you need to do a font, color, size. As you can see, that's number 1. Number 2, merge and center, and apply Excel style with a different font or combination of fonts. So that's second. Third, alignment, align to the right. Number 4, unmerge. So let's just actually take a look. So this is what I mean. So A1, I think it was the ones that apply different formatting, then merge, then unmerge. This one, for example, this particular one, B4, C4, as you can see, is C4 is not clickable, right? C4, because B4, C4 has been merged. So you can unmerge it. If you go to here, alignment, then you have merge drop down, then you can click unmerge so that you can, separate as its own cell, which is B4 and C4. But it was merged before, right? So that's what I mean by merge and unmerge. See what else we have it here. Then the number format or date format for B4. So this particular one, I'm going to unmerge. So B4, you can make it different date format. So you go to number format. So you want to make it long date, right? Or whatever short date, depending on the direction, right? And you can make it even further different format. Then you go to date, and there are maybe more than 20 different types of date format. Okay. So that's how you're going to format the date. Then step 6, bold it. Step 7, we just did it, long date. Step 8, find and replace. That's more like a word exercise. So you do find replace in Microsoft Word. The same thing here. Applications, because if you look at closely, there's an application, there's a typo. So we're trying to fix the typo with the correct word, which is applications. So all you do is just do the find and replace. Then the word is applications. You can replace it with the correct spelling. And you click replace or replace all. Okay. So that's why we have it there. Then step 10. Okay, now starting step 10, we're going to do some calculation. Okay, so idea of this data set, so we have like 50 states. Okay, so it looks like this is a college applications, and they are not really accurate. I just copy from public domain so that I can just make some columns and trying to show some examples. So it doesn't mean too much, okay? But we can play with the numbers. So number of applications for state of Alabama, we have 79. I think this is thousands, or I think it's thousands, so 79,000. I don't have that exact figure, but I think that's what it is. And then Alaska, Arizona, all the way. So we try to find percentage of this number out of total. Okay, the total is right there, 6797. So you have 79 out of 6797. That's what we're going to calculate. Okay. Yeah, that's what it means. Okay. So we're going to take that, for example, B8 divided by B5, which is total application. But don't forget, insert the $sign to B5 so that we can apply to the rest of the column. Right, then most likely you're going to apply percent format with it probably 2 decimal places. Okay, there you go. So percent of the total application. I think it just make it complete, right? Total applications. Okay, so that's the percentage. And percent of population. I think that's that number indicate percent of this particular state's population out of total population, right? I think that's what it means. But somehow they're showing as a decimal places rather than percent format. So what we're going to do is we just follow the direction in column E. So we are finding difference between total application minus percent population. Again, doesn't mean anything, okay? There's no meaning to these numbers, okay? I'm just trying to make up, column E for calculation purpose, okay? All right, so that's kind of percentage you're going to play with. But this percentage you need to calculate, right, as this one, division. So anytime you have a percentage calculation, you need to use a division method rather than trying to be fancy with, percent functions. There are particular percent function in Excel, but you don't want to use it because just division is much simpler. Okay, then you apply the percent format right here. Okay. All right. Now cumulative total column. So what this cumulative total asks you to do is add this budget number. So column F, we have budget, okay, for each state. So we're going to keep adding as you move down, meaning, for example, G8 becomes F8 itself, but G9, you're going to add those two, F8, F9, and G10, adding those three, F8, 9, 10, and G11, you're going to add those four, F8, F9, F10, F11. So that's what this cumulative total will do, okay? So rather than just doing it manually, right? Like it's going to take forever. So we're going to just use the sum function. Sum of this F8 itself to F8. Then we're going to make first term, which is F8, absolute self-reference. So when we copy to the rest of the column, and it's going to work. So what's going to happen is F8 to F8, that's the first one. Then when you copy to the next one, it's going to become F8 to F9. Then third one is going to become F8 to F10, and so forth. So that you'll find the cumulative total for each cell. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to autofill. And there you go. And that's the number you're going to get. So I have some I'll just leave it as it is. Okay. So again, here we go. That's the formula for cumulative total, or sometimes we call it running total. So don't forget the first term will have a dollar sign, which is absolute self-reference. Right? Any questions so far? So this is the kind of example you're going to see in terms of calculating percent or finding total or running total or cumulative total. All right, so let's take a look at another one. And this time, the last one, which is campus section. Let's see what we have it. But this is Word document. It's not Excel. So looks like we're going to have to create from the scratch, but let's take a look. Kind of questions. So as you can see, these are the list of instructions that you're gonna follow. So you're gonna create from scratch. So ask you to enter this data first. So it looks like we have income and expenses. Okay, a little bit too small, right? Income and expenses. So for January to June, so we're gonna find the total across, which is column H. Then also total across row number 16, finding sum for each, not each, but total expenses only. So that's why we have it here. Then row number 18, that's number of expenses, finding number of expense items, which is like a 7 item, but you need to use count function to count number of those items. Then savings here, B19, means that you need to find any savings or positive between income and expenses. Because you have income for January, 3,500, then you have total expenses, whatever amount, then subtract from income, then you'll have positive or negative, then you find the number, okay? So that's basically what this worksheets will do. So pretty much straightforward, because all you do is just finding total using sum, total using sum across row 16, then apply count function across, then subtract between income and expenses for savings. Okay, so this one happens to be, I think, a very simple example, but I think you're going to expect a little bit more than that, because conditional forwarding, for example, also percentage would be there. So for example, what is the percent of say rent, the total rent amount out of total expenses? Because basically you're going to find the total expenses for each month or across, on 6 months total. Then, you can find out particular percent of rent out of total expenses, for example. Okay. So that's the one type of percentage you need to work on. Then conditional formatting, as you can see, it may ask you to highlight expenses item, like 6 or 7 different expenses. Highlight in column B for top 3 values using conditional formatting, okay? Or highlight column C. In column C, highlight those value greater than 700, okay, or less than 700. So those are the type of question you may expect for conditional formatting. Any question or any comments for this one?
No questions. I mean,
All right.
it just pretty much, like, the assignments, they help a lot. So I feel like
Yeah.
the more practice, the better.
Right.
Yeah.
Because over the years, I found that, even though you think you understand all that, and then when it comes to tests, just a little bit of tension and because of timing, you can make a mistake. But just pay attention to especially percentage calculation, okay? So that you can take a correct item and divide by, whatever the number. So let's take a look. I think that's the last one. So that's kind of summarize Excel skills for Proctor Test 1. I think I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, some product, right? Some product appeared in Project 1. Okay, let me take a look. Project 1. Project 1, there you go. So if you recall, Project 1 is about calculating grades. It's too small right here. If you recall that, right? So you will have a bunch of students, and with their homework and all other score, we try to find the average. And that's the weighted average using some product. Then we're going to use the rank function to rank each student for class average. Right? So that's the mission you have to do with this assignment. So if I recall, well, this weight can be kind of random. So I'm going to just give a random percentage what is it, 20%? I'll make it all 20%. So it'll make 100%, right? So in terms of average, we're going to apply this percentage to each of those items, starting from homework to final. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing here. At this side, we have 5 items, so they are matching. If you have a 5, then you're going to apply it to 4 items. It's not going to work. Okay, so each of this area you're trying to combine must have the same number. At the same time, they must be organized the same way, meaning you have assigned this percentage across horizontally. The same thing, the score that you're trying to calculate must be on the horizontally organized. If we have like vertically assigned, it's not going to work. Okay, so let's take a look using sum product. So I'm going to just use this sum product and this percentage area. We separate by comma. Then I'm going to just assign those 5 items starting from K to O. Then that's it. And it'll calculate the weighted average. Okay, what it'll do is basically add and multiplying, for example, 20% by 100 plus 20% times 93 plus 20% times 94 plus 20% times 96 plus 20% times 93. This will give you 95.2. Okay, so rather than doing that, we use the sum product function, which is this one. Right? Then because K3O3 must be fixed, right? Because that's our weights. Weight must be fixed so that we can apply the rest of the column. So we're going to make it absolute cell reference to that. K6 and O6, O3. K3 and O3 make it absolute cell reference. Then we can autofill rest of the column. Just like that. And there, oops, I think I have an error. I made a mistake somewhere. So what did I miss? Oh, I think I did it the other way around. Did I? Right? Yeah, I did it the other way around. This must be just regular reference. The other one must have a dollar sign. My bad. Okay. All right. Any question? Sum product, finding weighted average. All right, class rank, meaning using this average, we're going to rank for everybody, right? Appear here. So the highest score will get rank number 1. The lowest score will have whatever the last number. Okay. So rank function goes like a rank. And again, we're going to rank this particular number, which is class average in P3, comma, against all other numbers in column P. Let's see whether this works. No, I think we better just highlight only this area. Then as you can see, the rank is 3. Okay, And again, I need to have a dollar sign to P3 to P68 because they must be fixed. Otherwise, you're going to have an error because if you don't have any dollar sign to P3 to P68, it's going to increase by itself, like it's going to make it P4 to P69, P5 to P70, because that's what Excel will do anytime you don't have dollar sign to the cell reference. Okay, so the rank has been found. So number one goes to, what is the number one, by the way? Right here, 99.6. So it appears the correct rank. All right. So again, the reason I'm adding just a few functions here and there, because the textbook only contains so many, right? So that's kind of limits. So that's why I'm introducing some interesting functions and calculations on top of the textbook, items. So hopefully you understand that. Any questions?
No, I don't have, I don't have any questions at the moment. It's
Okay.
just, I remember when I was doing the class rank, I noticed like I did, which I fixed it, but I noticed that it was kind of showing up kind of weird. And it was because I didn't do, I guess, what the absolute reference. Yeah.
Right. So anytime you have some kind of error, just pay attention to either punctuation or the cell reference, dollar sign. So that's something you need to watch out. Okay. Any other questions? Well, I have one more items actually, because we are doing module 3. So module 3, I think we better do it after the test, right? So, of course, I don't want to, load it with too many stuff. But I want to introduce what we have done on the campus section. So I have 2 campus sections, and we do some hands-on exercises with your classmate, because rather than just going through step by step, sometimes it's boring for them. So that's what I do. So these are some examples of what we did. I tried to bring some more hands-on, more exercises so that they can practice. One example is exercise for VLOOKUP and if function. So that's one of the most important functions in module 3. And I think I have more because this is for our section, but campus section has a different website. So that's something I'm going to show you next time. However, at the bottom, I added some useful tutorial for a VLOOKUP function. The VLOOKUP function is one of the most popular functions in Excel. We have students in accounting, finance, management. They use the VLOOKUP function every day. I think I assume you do. Some of you use Excel and use the VLOOKUP function a lot. So I have some useful tutorial for those people who are not really familiar with VLOOKUP. I think this is a very good tutorial, free tutorial, so that you can take a look at good examples for beginners especially. So these 2 websites are very good reference so that you can learn VLOOKUP quickly. Because we also have examples in the book, but the way they present is not easy to understand sometimes. So that's something we're going to talk about more next time. focus on VLOOKUP, if function, and other functions appear in module 3 and 4. All right, any questions? All right, so anytime you have a problem, just don't hesitate. And also don't forget to check the announcement section. Right here, see that? I posted just video tutorial every week. This example, we have case problem 2, case problem 1 tutorial. Also have a one of assignment, which is assignment 3, review assignment. And also I'm going to post the recording for today's video and so forth. So check out those some important stuff so that you can get some help. All right. Are we good?
Yes.
All righty. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, let me see. Let me check the chat just a second. Okay, in the chat, there's no questions. Okay, so good luck to your tests and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Someone asked how much time do we have for the exam?
Oh, is that right? Oh yeah. We're gonna have 100 minutes. 100.
Okay, thank